We begin with new developments in immigration enforcement and growing legal challenges involving the Department of Homeland Security. Federal officials confirm that Immigration and Customs Enforcement has detained a woman described by the agency as an undocumented immigrant with a prior visa overstay. According to a source familiar with the case, she is the mother of the nephew of White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Homeland Security officials say the woman had, in their words, a previous arrest for battery and entered the United States as a child before overstaying her visa. Her attorney disputes the government's characterization and insists she has no criminal record of any kind, including nothing that would have prevented her from qualifying for deferred action for childhood arrivals protections. She is currently being held in Louisiana, more than 1,000 miles from her home, and her legal team plans to challenge the arrest in federal court. At the same time, a new internal memo obtained by ABC News reveals that the Trump administration has directed United States Citizenship and Immigration Services to conduct a broad review of refugees admitted during the administration of former President Joe Biden. The document states that the agency will re-examine all applicants admitted between the 20th of January of 2021 and the 20th of February of 2025. Those found to require additional screening could be asked to complete another interview. The memo says the review is intended to address what it calls a period in which the refugee program prioritized expediency and quantity over quality interviews and detailed vetting. Immigration advocates say the directive is unprecedented and expect legal challenges to follow. In a separate case, a federal judge is continuing a contempt inquiry after 2 plane loads of Venezuelan migrants were flown to El Salvador, despite a court order requiring the aircraft to return. Government filings say the flights were approved by Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who authorized the removal of hundreds of Venezuelan nationals to a high-security prison known for harsh conditions. Reports from attorneys and human rights groups indicate that the migrants remained there for several months before being released. The judge overseeing the case has described the administration's actions as stunning and is pressing for answers on why his order was not followed. The inquiry is expected to continue in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, another immigration policy has been struck down by a separate federal judge. That rule, introduced in July of 2025, required thousands of migrants who entered the country without inspection to remain in detention for the duration of their removal proceedings, a process that can stretch for multiple years because of the backlog of several million cases. The policy also requires Immigration and Customs Enforcement to treat all such migrants as applicants for admission, making them subject to mandatory detention regardless of criminal history or time spent living in the United States. With the decision now overturned, many of these individuals could become eligible for bond hearings. However, the Department of Justice is widely expected to appeal.